Okay, cool.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to KAAPcast. Creatives are all pushing, a show that is aimed at shining a light on the creative realm in Cape Town, South Africa, and the world. And on today's episode, we are shining a light on Design Week, and we are joined by the one and only, the biggest connector, creative professional, Star Senamile Shongwe.
I'm good. I actually just realized I think that, I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling inspired, and I think that there's a lot to be done, but there's a lot that is happening. So I'm good because of that. Yeah.
Siv, what are your reflections, bro?
I think Design Week, man, is a great experience, especially for people that are coming from townships, just to make it out in the city, to see what is happening in the city, connecting with people that are really doing it on the highest level. I think for me, I want to see more of what is happening in the city, and I want to see these things happening in townships as well. Because I feel like there's no accessibility to people from the townships. It's always the people that are right here in the city who will have access to these things. And also that could change a mindset of a young kid there at home to understand that this thing is possible. So what is your experience so far with Design Week? You've been attending these talks. You've been talking and talking and talking. Tell us more about the experience so far.
I do think that I have been talking quite a bit, but it's not because I just like talking for talking's sake. I think it's really important to actually have these conversations, and even what you're speaking about now of wanting this to actually show up in other spaces. The really cool thing about this is that even right now we're still in it, the week is not over, but there's an open streets langa that's happening on Sunday. So there's in a similar way that you've seen the inner city Bree streets being closed and taken over, and activation and animation happening. The very same thing with a couple of exciting elements is happening Walanga. And that's the importance of something like Design Week for me, where you're able to connect different precincts and different areas of the city and make it come alive. Walanga has always represented, I not to say one township is, bigger than the other. I don't want to do that, please. People in culture is not a jungle. People in cooks, I'm not saying nothing, but everything. So the thing with Walanga, it's always had, if you think about places like Kukas Tebe and all of that, there's always been a cultural landmark there. You have your Brenda Fassi's jazz, exactly. If you think about jazz, the Lagunya area, as they used to call it, of Langa, Cooks, Nyanga, that's where a lot of our jazz musicians from South Africa come from. So it was quite important for something like Design Week to show up in places outside of the center, outside of the, it's showing up in the city center, it's showing up in Salt River, it's showing up at the V&A Waterfront, it's showing up Walanga. So for me, that is an amazing decentralized way of making sure that everyone has a way to own design and think about what does design mean to me, and what can I do as Sona, what can I do as Star, what can I do as that's the
speaking of design and Design Week, what is Design Week, and how would you best describe the word design? Because I think it's a very much broader name, and it has a lot of terms into it. So how would you best describe Design Week and the word design?
I think the word design is a loaded word because it's always been associated with this aesthetic, pretty, perfected thing, whether it's through objects or through, art or furniture. Because art and design, they might not be exactly the same thing, but they correlate. So for me, design is being one of the key things, and I appreciated and loved what I won't be able to quote her properly, but Umam Shado Twala, who was part of Design Week in Joburg, for me captured it best in terms of what design is. It's this element of being. It's what we're doing right now. This is unplanned, unmatched, but we're here. We're designing. There's a design thinking in the work that you guys as KAAPcast Media do, KAAPcast Media do, in that you go into these spaces and you're like, you know what, I'm here and there's something I gained, but I want to amplify this beyond. So there's a design in that, in terms of knowledge systems not being limited to you were here, you heard it, you felt it. There's other people that you're thinking about. It's after this. So design is archiving, design is being, design is thinking about the people who will use the items. Right now we're sitting on this couch, outdoor furniture that was created by Chizo. It's part of the Akan collection, and you know, he usually does indoor furniture, he does artwork, but he's given an offering based on the space that we're at, that like, look, actually I want to be part of this, and this is the way that I can organically be, you know, infused. So for me, that is design. It's innovation, it's critical thinking, and it's coming up with solutions and possible solutions and testing together. Yeah.
So what is then Design Week?
Design Week itself is a way to package and consolidate what's happening in the city. Remember, like some of these things that are happening under Design Week, they happen like throughout the year. People are producing in their studios, buildings are going up, there are placemaking initiatives and so on. But within all of that, you know, these placemaking initiatives, community building and so on, how do you find a way to almost create, like the Design Week, it's a series of events and activations across two cities. It's a way to stimulate activity within the city in a way where it's densified, like as in there's a lot to choose from. And it's also a test for each person that like, oh, actually, what am I interested in? Where can I tap in, lean in and make a change? So Design Week for me it's a catalyst, it's a call to action, and it's an opportunity to connect physically, because I think that's always been one of the things, like not only as creative practitioners or as people who are enthusiasts, but just as people in general, there's we always speak about like a loneliness pandemic, and you need to have spaces where you can come together and like
create a community.
Exactly, like be together, and through being together you start to find out like, okay, what do I do about this togetherness, you know? So that for me is Design Week.
It as you mentioned that it's nationwide. It happened in two cities, which is Cape Town and Johannesburg. Not that we compete or something like that. But based on your experiences, which Design Week was your favorite?
Oh, now you're asking me to pick. This is a trick question. I'd rather take that ginger shot there. But I would say, because we're still in the midst of Design Week Cape Town, my favorite was Joburg, only because this one is not done yet.
Okay, there's still more.
Yeah, there's still more. So I can't say this one because it's still in action. But I think both cities have different elements to offer, and exactly. So far I would say Joburg, because for me it was like a discovery. It was a new way to experience and navigate Joburg, and I was very impressed with the way that people showed up and articulated their offering, and you know, kind of clubbed in and collaborated. So it was I'm still reflecting, to be honest. So I would say, if I have to choose for now, I'd say Joburg. Yeah.
For me, it was interesting, man. Looking at like how the Design Week was set up, because in my head I thought we were going to experience something like a
exhibition,
name drop or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something like a Decorex.
Yeah.
I think Megot also spoke about it in the talk. I loved how you guys curated it by spreading it out through like having activations in different places. So speaking of that, these activations that you guys have, how did you guys curate the entire thing in the city? What sort of like spots were you guys looking for? What were the requirements?
So I mean, all props to the Design Week team. So I'm not actually part of the core team. I'm just a collaborator this year. And for me, it's very important to be able to engage like deeply and fully when doing something. But the way that it's approached, from my understanding, is that there's an open call, right? As in, there's an open call. Anyone who's doing anything that relates to design, whether it's in arts, design, food, it's in architecture, it's in film, you have a studio, you want to do an open studio, it's a tour, there's an open call to say, hey, come, there's this platform, we want to create something special for the city. Come in, clap in, do your thing, tell us what it is, we'll help amplify it and promote it, and we'll help also get folks to, and because there's also like an RSVP system, so you start being able to gauge that, like, okay, what are people also interested in? If I'm a studio that just opened last year and I have this offering, like, what is it that, how can I actually start connecting with people who are aligned with what I'm trying to say? So that's the starting point, and then from there, there's there's like a short listing of like all of the key activations that will happen, and based on where they are, there's a district element where you have design week districts. Like for example, in Joburg, the design week district was Braamfontein, because there was a lot of activity at 44 Stanley. There was, things close to the Nando's Kitchen, which is close to Vic Yards. There was Rosebank. Because there were so many things happening in different pockets, then you start seeing that, like, oh, if there's a couple happening in a particular place, this is the... okay. During an interview, I unprofessional. Excuse me, guys.
No problem.
So within that, then you start creating these districts. Soweto was one of them. So even in Cape Town, you try to have certain elements where there's like a thread, right? And the thread this year was the morning sessions. So the morning talks here at one park, and in Joburg they happened at here in Joburg. It's like a cafe style gathering curated by the Design Week team and Simone, who is also part of the Design Week team. It's like there's a lot to do, and we understand that, and people can choose what to do. But before you go, start your day, come ground yourself.
As I was saying, I would like to say that the work that you're doing there at Artist Alliance, and also like the work that you're doing like abroad, it's amazing. We would like to see more of what you're doing, and also maybe create your own agency. Work with creative. Make sure that the work that you're doing, man, it's seen even back at home in Mpumalanga. Even the kids there, maybe they are inspired to see what you're doing. They would like to see more of what you're doing.
All right. No, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it, and I don't do it alone. I am a very strong advocate for joy, for making sure that as creatives there's a way that this thing that we're doing is sustainable. But what I'd like to say is shout outs to you guys. It's important to show up, and you guys do that. Let's keep the conversation going, and let's keep the doing happening as well. So ngiyabonga for the time.
That's what creatives do.
Yeah.
We keep on pushing. From us at KAAPcast Media, we'd like to say, we appreciate people like you that are pushing the needle forward, making sure that you enter the boardrooms. And Siyavagala is us as creatives, because that's what like these brands like doing. They like to suppress us as creatives and pushing their brands much more further. But with having a band that are actually like culturally involved, while also being on the corporate side, it kind of balances the playing field for both parties. So siyabulela sisi wami.
Thank you so much.
Of course, already.